Hey guys, I'm Chris. Welcome to Show Me the Hawgs. In this video, I'm going to show you how to switch your spinning reel handle from one side to the other. So I want to quick talk about what side of the reel the handle should be on. What it comes down to is personal preference and what you're comfortable with. A lot of anglers like to hold their rod in their dominant hand while they're cranking the reel with their non-dominant hand. I am not that way. I am right hand dominant, so I like to crank the reel with my right while I'm holding the rod with my left. That's the way I've always done it. It's what I'm comfortable with. So that's just the way that I do it. You do what's comfortable for you. If your handle is on the right side and you want it on the left, or it's on the left and you want it on the right, we're going to show you the steps to get that done. I've got two reels here that are set up on the left. I'm going to switch them to the right. So what do you say about that, Joe?
Let's do it!
So as far as spinning reels go, there are two different types of handles. The first I'm going to switch over is the single bolt reel. Single bolt because there's one bolt inside of this thing and it's mounted on the handle. Now that bolt has male threads that screw directly into the body of the reel. On the other side you have a cap that's really just there to protect the reel from getting dust, debris, or any kind of crap in there that could damage it. So if we're going to take off this reel, we're going to notice since the handle is on the left side, it's rotating counterclockwise. Now if we're going to take this thing off, we're going to rotate it the opposite direction. So I'm going to grip the reel like this, break the handle, and back it all the way out. Now I'm going to come over to the other side and take this cap off. Then I'm going to insert that bolt and begin rotating it toward the front of the reel. Make sure the threads are seated properly, they don't get crossed so I don't damage my reel. And they're going to start tightening up, so I'm going to grip the reel again to keep it in place. I don't want to crank this too hard because I don't want to damage my reel. Just want to make sure it's good and snug. After that, I'm going to put the cap back on the other side. And once that's done, the handle for this reel is officially set up on the right side. Alright, so this next reel we're going to work with is a Lose Xfinity spinning reel. Now, the thing about this reel is that it has a 2-bolt system, unlike the Fluger that we just worked on. It has a single bolt system. Now, just don't assume that you have a single bolt system like the Fluger, because if you do and you're like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna, grip the reel like Chris said, and then I'm gonna wrench this thing back. If you have a 2-bolt system like this, you're gonna damage your reel if you really put a lot of torque into it. So one way you can absolutely make sure that you're not gonna damage your reel is take the cap off. Because if this is a single bolt system, the cap's just gonna pop off, no harm done. Now you're gonna notice that once I pull these 2 bolts out, you're going to see there are 2 different types of bolts. You can see the bolt on the cap right here has male threads, and you can see a tiny little gear right there. You want to make note of the gears and washers and stuff inside of your reel, because sometimes those things can fall out, and that's totally fine. Just make note of where those go so that when you put your reel back together, you get them back in the right place and your reel works properly. So now I'm going to back the handle out. And you're going to notice that the bolt on this one looks totally different than the Fluger reel. This has female threads, unlike the male threads we were looking at before. So now these 2 bolts come together when you put them inside the reel. They screw together like that. Alright, so now we're going to put the handle on the right side. Simply just have to slide that in there. Alright, so now I'm going to take my cap and begin putting that back in place. Again, you want to make sure that you're not crossing your threads, because if you cross your threads you can damage your reel, and then you're going to be in a real world of hurt. And once you got your cap tightened back in there, give the reel a crank, make sure it works properly, and you are good to go. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, we'd appreciate it if you consider subscribing. Check out our fishing tutorials playlist if you want to learn other tips and tricks to use on your fishing adventures. We hope to see you in the next video, but until then, get out there, put a line on the water, because we were made to fish.